Shalom and welcome to all my brothers and sisters. I'm going to be doing a couple very, very short videos on 3 different subjects, and I hope that you enjoy them, and I hope it'll bring about questions or answer questions that you may have had. This topic is going to be on the second coming claim. Christians and Messianics and all groups basically who follow the New Testament make the claim that when they are basically pushed against the wall, we as Jews, Israel, will say, he didn't fulfill the Messianic prophecies, period. That's why we reject him. It's not nothing personal. He didn't fulfill the Messianic prophecies. So the Christians will go to the second coming thing that's based on the Christian books, the Greek books. And we say, well, the Hebrew Scriptures does not mention anything anywhere about a second coming. It's a first coming perspective. And we will see about that. The Hebrew Scriptures, again, never speaks about a second coming for the Messiah. It does not exist. It's nowhere in Hebrew Scriptures whatsoever. Number 2, all Messianic passages that are pushed forward by Christians are passages that are out of context, completely not at all dealing with the concept of Messiah, about 90% of them. And the ones that are pushed are the ones that we believe are talking about the real Messiah, and they have a first coming perspective, not a second coming. Number 3, a second coming can be claimed for any failed Messiah. There were many failed Messiahs before and after Jesus. Did you know that? Yes, there were many people, and this is recorded in history, before and after Yeshua, or Jesus. Many who tried to be the Messiah and failed and were killed, executed. So you can claim that any of those people are going to come back and be the Messiah. You can claim it for anyone. It's a fact. You can. It's a take it or leave it. I know this might be offensive to some people, but I'm sorry. The truth is the truth. He's not the only one. They killed over 100,000 Jews, the Romans, in Israel. Over 100,000 Jews were killed on a cross, let alone all the other executions that were caused. Over 100,000 Jews crucified. And you weren't crucified for double parking your camel. They executed every rebel and insurrectionist. He was not the only one. And finally, the New Testament has Jesus promise his disciples that he would return during their lifetimes, and he didn't. Here's the passages. I hope you'll write these down and look them up for yourselves. Matthew chapter 16, verses 28. Matthew chapter 24, verse 34. Mark chapter 13, verse 30. Romans chapter 16, verse 20. Hebrews chapter 10, verse 37. Revelations chapter 22, verse 10. And verse 12 and verse 20, all in Revelation 22. Just a handful. There's more. So the bottom line is, when you look at the Hebrew Scriptures, for example, Isaiah chapter 11 has a first coming perspective. He will fear God. The knowledge of God will cover the world as the waters covers the seas. Peace on earth. The temple will be rebuilt. Ezekiel 37, very clear. The lost tribes of Israel coming together with Judah. Resurrection of the dead, Daniel chapter 12. On and on and on. There are many, many things that must take place that you will not miss when the real Messiah comes. It didn't happen 2,000 years ago.